Hi, you guys. In this little mini tutorial, I just wanted to show you how I easily use the new Evil Cake Genius large heart mold. It is very, very awesome, and it really made this 50 anniversary cake I made super pretty with the added touch of two of these big hearts in the project. I was actually unsure about how this would work, but it actually worked wonderfully. I melted my candy melts. When you are melting candy melts, make sure to melt them according to the directions on the package. Usually you want to do like 50% or defrost. I actually often do 70% power, but you don't want to melt them on full power because you can end up burning them, ruining them, sucking all the moisture out of them, and then they get all kind of nasty. And in fact, even when I reheat my candy melts, they often don't work as nicely as they do the first time I heat up my candy melt. So that's something to keep in mind as well. And as you can see here, I have filled a disposable piping bag with the candy melts, and I'm just going to snip a very small piece of the tip off. It's not super small. You can see what I did there. And this, I'm just using this. I just thought this would be a good way to fill the mold because I was afraid of just dumping it in. I don't know. I felt like I wanted to use a piping bag. You definitely don't have to, but it was easy to use this piping bag to fill it. So I was trying to think of the best way to do this where it would work out nicely. There wouldn't be any gaps. And I didn't want to fill the entire thing with chocolate so that it was totally solid. You know what I'm saying? I wanted it to be somewhat hollow. So I did the one side first with a piping bag, like you can see, and then I did the other side. And I didn't go up past the edge. In fact, I got close to the edge, but not all the way to the edge because I figured I would do this first, the way I'm doing it, and then put the two sides together and then kind of shake it around a little bit because I didn't want to have to worry about cleaning up those edges of the heart afterwards, like having to melt them down or whatever. I just wanted this to be quick and easy. So here I am putting it together, and it's magnetic, so it stays together really well. I didn't even have to use any rubber bands or anything. And then I just started shaking, kind of shifting the candy melts around to make sure that they covered every area, that they got on those edges well, and then covered, all parts of the heart. Make sure you put enough candy melt in so that it's not too thin on you. But you definitely don't have to fill the whole thing up. And I just turned and turned. I'm probably turning a little bit too fast here. But it worked. It worked. I popped this in the freezer, and I was afraid it wasn't going to come out well out of the mold, but it did. It came out beautifully. I popped it in the freezer. I'd put it in for at least 10 minutes. I wouldn't put it in too much longer than that because when you freeze it for too long, I find that it can crack on you a little bit more easily. So that's something to keep in mind. 10 to 15 minutes really is all that you need. And then you can see how easily that came out of the mold. Now on my second heart that I made, I reheated my candy molds and I left them in the freezer a little bit, a lot longer than the 10 to 15 minutes, and my heart cracked on me, and it had some gaps because, like I said, reheating the candy melts didn't work super great. So that's just something to keep in mind as well. Fresh candy melts tend to work better for me. I don't know exactly why, but they do. Okay, so this company sent this edible gold leaf to me. They wanted me to try it out. So I said, sure, I'll try it out. And I really wanted to put the gold leaf on the heart. So that's what you see me doing here. Now, these sheets, something to keep in mind, they are super, super small, obviously. I would never order this size if I was going to try to cover a cake with this edible gold leaf. And they're not transfer sheets. They are loose, which you could see. I have to be very careful here that I don't drop the gold out of the sheets. They move around easily. I also would never order edible gold leaf unless they are on transfer sheets because then the gold leaf is stuck to the sheet until you press it to whatever you want to press it on. These are just loose. So they're actually perfectly fine for this kind of application. And honestly, I haven't even brushed my heart with anything. they stick really great to the candy melts without anything added on top of the candy melt. So, it works really nicely. Here I'm just using a brush to kind of tap down the edges. You don't want to touch the stuff with your finger. I have a whole tutorial on using silver leaf, which is very much the same on a cake, if you want to check that out on the Cakeheads website. So that'll give you some more tips on using this stuff. But you definitely don't want to use your fingers because your fingers can pull it off. A fluffy brush to just kind of wipe away the edges works really great. So that's it. It's as easy as that. I definitely recommend this mold. I love it and can't wait to work it into another project. If you want to see how I made this entire 50th golden anniversary cake, come on over and join us at cakeheads.com, where there's all kinds of fun tutorials, and we have a great group of amazing people that we share with and just get support from and learn the art of cake decorating with, having tons of fun. Thanks for watching. See you later.